Hello, peoples, and welcome to Esoteric Cinema, the program where we take films and discuss the hell out of them. My name is Jason Peters, and with me, as always, is the first person to ever be sent to space as a dog, travel through a wormhole, and return to Earth as a human being. That's right, Mr. Ryan Seabold!
What's up, Jason? How's it go, buddy?
I am good, sir. I'm here. I'm ready to talk movies. We're doing the second of our 4 films in our retro sci-fi series. Ryan, why don't you go ahead and introduce our audience to today's film?
Today we're diving into the comedic side of pulp retro science fiction with what may be the most what the hell did I just watch movie we've had on this show. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the 8th Dimension. The film follows the titular Buckaroo, who is a neurosurgeon, rock icon, and all-around butt-kicking adventurer who teams up with his wild group of friends, the Hong Kong Cavaliers, to investigate an alien disturbance that was triggered by Banzai's foray into interdimensional travel. The aliens, known as Lectroids, led by the nefarious Dr. Lizardo, go head-to-head with Buckaroo and the gang as they all rally for Banzai's Overthruster, the key to travel to their homeworld of the planet 10. The film stars Peter Weller as Buckaroo, John Lithgow as the nefarious Dr. Lizardo, Jeff Goldblum, Christopher Lloyd, Ellen Humana Barkin, Clancy Brown, Vincent Schiavelli. Everybody is in this movie. Jason, this was directed by W.D. Richter, who is mostly a writer, penning projects like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and Big Trouble in Little China, and was written as a pet project by upstart Earl Mac Rausch, who had linked up with Richter as fellow alums from Dartmouth. Banzai had many iterations and drafts before reaching the big screen and was a total flop at the box office, bringing in only $7 million against a budget of $17 million. But this is just one of those films that had legs, as the film has grown a huge cult following over the years, garnering everything from convention panels to tons of movie references, and now here it is on our show. So Jason, cult following aside, and this is honestly the most sincere time I've ever asked you this question on this show. Is someone out there not having a good time? Or were you able to laugh a while you can, monkey boy?
Laugh a while you can, monkey boy.
Ryan, I am going to be happy to tell you right here in my opening statement just what I think about Buckaroo Banzai. Now, I do just want to take a quick moment to gather my opinions and make sure that I'm properly communicating my thoughts here, okay?
Okay.
This movie sucks and I hate it. I cannot remember the last time I was so disappointed by a film to the point that I couldn't find a single redeeming characteristic whatsoever. Man. The film tees us off with an absolutely insane setup that promises to be the silliest, wackiest, campiest sci-fi adventure you've ever seen, and then proceeds to do absolutely nothing.
Right.
Like, this film is so flat and lifeless, it has the personality of a half-digested fig. Filmmaker W.D. Richter, as you said, began his career as a screenwriter, and boy does it show, because there is no sort of visual panache or inventiveness anywhere to be found in this film. The direction couldn't be less inspired, content with allowing the actors to spend half the film in sitting positions, while the camera just hangs on a wide shot for like 65 seconds at a time. And for such a wacky high-concept movie, the pacing here is interminably slow. The actors didn't bother trying to imbue the characters with anything resembling personality, save John Lithgow, who honestly does try his hardest but still can't save his scenes. Peter Weller, with his historical underacting, was absolutely the wrong choice to play Buckaroo.
Is someone out there not having a good time?
I could go on and on and on, including Jeff Goldblum apparently just up and refusing to bring anything resembling a cowboy to his, in fact, cowboy character.
Where do you hail from, Doc? New Jersey.
The film just promises so much life and color. The set and art direction was nowhere to be found, though admittedly I did like the biologically organic design of the alien spacecraft. But man, when all is said and done, this film is a limp dick noodle of a movie, one that actually only shows a pulse when the end credits roll, and the actors merrily march along to a jivey 80s synth beat, and away from this film forever, with us as the audience, finally freed from the shackles of tedious cinematic expression.
Oh, man.
Ryan, what did you think, sir?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Jason. On first watch, And yes, Jason, I saw this twice. I was just so off-put and confused. From the opening crawl that made no sense, I frustratingly struggled looking for matching patterns as I tried to assemble the story here like a puzzle with seemingly missing pieces. After the amazing strut-filled credits rolled, I sat with the film for a day and gave it another go. And only then did I realize I was approaching it wrong. This was a punk rock art piece. This was Devo. This was They Might Be Giants. This was The Flaming Lips. And once I settled into viewing it through that lens, I enjoyed it quite a bit more. Now, it's not perfect in its execution. Far from it. For example, the film was made as a passion project by a first-time director and a very green writer. And like many films of that ilk, I'd say the film tries to do way too much here. I was being pulled in so many directions and following a long and ever-growing list of character arcs that it would often interrupt the zany and comedic beats I was trying to enjoy. In the same way, the editing felt rough and served only to further confuse me narratively. You're also dropped right in the middle of a lot of world-building lore, and it felt at times like I had picked up a copy of a comic book, that I was in the middle of a saga that I was behind on. Still, the brilliant cast took this oddball material and ran with it, namely John Lithgow, who was perhaps giving my favorite performance of his career here. Peter Weller, Christopher Lloyd, Jeff Goldblum, and Ellen Barkin are all great as well, and the cast just kept growing somehow. Jonathan Banks and Dan Hedaya are in this movie. Oh, you didn't think Yakov Smirnoff was in this film? Because he is! What a dimension! On my second viewing, I was impressed that, though this is a bit nonsensical and schlocky, everyone involved seemed committed to the bit here. This is a cult classic in the purest form, and though I can't say I loved my first viewing, I really did learn to enjoy my time spent with Buckaroo Banzai and the gang in the 8th dimension.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you came around and gave him a second chance, because ain't getting no second chance with me. I'm telling you that much,
It was a lot, dude. Yeah.
Now, Ryan, we can go ahead and get into what we both liked and disliked about this film. I'd actually like to begin today's discussion by talking about the film's direction and pacing. But first, here are 5 things that I would rather do than watch the adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the 8th dimension.
Yes. Here we go.
Clean and detail 7 pounds of raw Alaskan shrimp. Have my manager repeatedly flick me in the forehead while I field sales calls.
Yes.
Stand in line at the DMV when I could have made an appointment. Listen to a hardcore ultra-right MAGA podcast. And fight a wireless printer that refuses to connect to my home Wi-Fi. All
man.
things I would rather do than watch this film once or again. Now, Ryan,
Okay.
the film opens with a Star Wars text crawl spoof that promises us this crazy, insane adventure filled with wacky hijinks and offbeat characters. But unlike your second viewing, I didn't find that sense of fun anywhere in this movie. And a huge amount of that responsibility, I would have to say, falls on director W.D. Richter for an absolutely lifeless filmmaking style. I think that was the biggest problem that I had with this movie, is that there is no life, no energy, no movement, nothing to the way that this movie is presented.
All right.
Like, to wit, when you actually look at like the blocking of the characters, so many times they're just sitting there in a chair or just standing there. And it's like one of those things where they're never doing anything other than like waiting for their turn to speak. And then on top of that, the camera isn't really moving around a lot. It's a lot of wide shots and medium shots with not much coverage.
Right.
And then the editing is kind of, it's not super fast. So like, this film just plods along. You didn't find that?
Oh, I totally did. Yeah, the first viewing I was like, because I was viewing this, I was trying to make sense of it. I was like, because sometimes the aliens are in makeup, sometimes they're not. Ellen Barkin is a total waste of a character. I didn't really gather what she was doing there, how she ended up there. There's a throwaway line about it being Buckaroo's ex-wife's twin sister, and they were separated at birth, but come with me. And then, like, that was never explained.
So many nonsensical strings of
just a throwaway line, to explain a character's existence. And then, like, where does his ex-wife go? Like, now you're telling me that your ex-wife, okay, like, what, is she gonna come into the picture? Is there gonna be 2 Ellen Barkins? No? Okay. But then also, you're gonna be romantically involved with Ellen Barkin? Or, like, there's, like, some kind of chemistry there, but that's, like, your ex-wife's twins? I don't know, man. All very creepy shit. Sometimes, and then they would cut to the aliens and then like the Lectroids, and they would be in makeup, and then they would cut back to them and they'd be out of makeup. And I was like, well, is there some like They Live stuff going on where they need like, because remember they put on those like eyewear things. So anyway, all that to say, And then that happened. Then they get the John, what's his name shows up, and
John Big Booty, the like dumbest recurring joke in the entire movie. Like
no, the other guy, John
Big
Parker.
Booty. Oh no, it's John Big Booty. Oh, John Parker. Yeah, for sure.
John Parker shows up with a gift that is supposed to explain everything, and we're about to get the exposition dump that I've been craving this entire film, right? And then they do that, and they put on their silly masks so they could see it, and the woman shows up, and she's like, okay, everybody listen to me. I'm going to tell you what's been going on for the last 45 minutes. And then they just talk over the whole thing. Like, all of a sudden, Banzai starts having like a side conversation, and they're all kind of cutting up off to the side. And I'm like, guys, you're missing it. And by proxy, now I'm missing it.
Will everybody please shut up so I can hear the rest of this thing?
So, yes, all that to say, this was
okay,
very
really quick, though,
that was
an insane part, too, because do you know when that whole moment comes? Like, what minute in the film it comes?
I would say about 45 minutes in. That's what I guessed.
56 minutes in.
Okay.
56 minutes in. And structurally, that's the end of the first act. The end of the first act is halfway through the movie, because that's when we find out that, oh, this guy's here and they're going to blow up the earth if they don't do all this stuff. So like, I spent seriously the first 45, 50 minutes of this movie being like, what the hell is going on? Like, where is all of this going? Like, what is our MacGuffin? Why is anyone doing anything that they're doing?
Yeah, full stop. I agree. The only thing that made this watchable to me, and I tried to give it a fair review, because it would have been very easy for me to come on and do like. I absolutely agree with everything you're saying.
You're far kinder than I am, sir.
I'm trying.
Nobody's getting off for this.
I'm trying.
Everybody's coming to pay the piper today with Jason on Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. None of you are getting off.
Awesome. Perfect. No, I mean, look, we were due for a dud. We've been cranking out bangers for a while. We've been talking about that off camera. Like, man, I sure hope we get a movie we don't like coming up soon, because we're just giving.
And so did we get one.
Yeah, 4 stars for you, 5 stars for you, this and that. So, I'm glad we got a semi crappy movie here. I would say that the talent and everybody involved with this film are having fun with this in the way that people have fun when they're making a student film or when they're making their first film or whatever. It just seems like everybody was in on it. John Lithgow crushed it. I actually do disagree with you on that. That's the one thing I will go to bat on. That's the hill I will die on, is I loved John Lithgow's performance.
Where are we going? And real soon!
He was absolutely zany in the best possible way, and he was the breath of fresh air I needed every time he was on screen. I was like, oh, good. Our guy's back.
Now, here's the thing. I get the character. Like, if there was one part of the film that I found interesting from an idea perspective as far as the screenplay is concerned, because the screenplay has a lot of problems.
Okay.
It was the fact that, like, he sort of halfway went through to this other dimension that was filled with these demons, and it sort of fucked with his mind, and now he's basically like off his rocker for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I had no idea what he was doing with the electrocution stuff that triggered that whole flashback. Like, they spend an inordinate amount of time showing him, like, attach all these gizmos and doodads to himself and clips his tongue and blah, blah, blah. And then, like, jacks himself up with electricity. I'm like, this is a substance abuse kind of thing. Like, he gets off, like, he's all tweaked out on electricity or something. Like, to date, no clue. They just do shit in this movie. And that's one of them.
Yeah, no, I mean, Peter Weller, the star of the film, has gone on record many times as saying he has no idea what this movie's about or what's going on in this film.
There was no stage in the doing of Buckaroo, no stage afterwards that I ever grasped what Buckaroo was about.
So, you're not alone. I'm not alone. I agree with you. I'm not. Yeah, I just enjoyed the fun he was having doing the nonsense. That's all. Every time he would cut back.
Yeah.
And that's it. So I would say that people forget sometimes how weird and dumb the 80s could get. When people think the 80s,
for sure.
they think Madonna. They think George Michael
New
or
Order
Hall and
and-
Oates
yeah.
or all the pop stuff, Tiffany and all that. I Think We're Alone Now and all the stuff. And then that's what you see transpire in 80s references like Stranger Things, for example, is all the pop culture. But what people leave out is Devo, Oingo Boingo, Dr. Demento, even Weird Al on a fringe side of things. Like we just accept it because he's been a part of the lexicon for so long. But
Yeah.
if you like in that moment when you see, UHF or something like that, like that's wild and zany and weird and makes no sense at times. But
Sure.
yeah, the 80s were fucking weird. And this is kind of an embodiment of that.
And I get that. But part of it is actually on the other side of things. I don't think the film went far enough. That was the biggest problem probably that I had with the whole film. And
That's fair.
That also bleeds into the look of the film, the set direction, costumings, which is all sort of stuff that I would like to pivot the discussion to first. But not before I give you 5 more things I would rather do than have to watch the adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the 8th dimension.
Yeah.
Among them,
This is going to
take
do
a
great
job
on the
as a
socials.
Cook County. Among them, take a job as a Cook County hospital bedpan cleaner.
Beautiful.
Remove asbestos from Louisiana plantations without a face mask. Go to Old Man Wither's haunted amusement park alone. Approach every conversation with the energy of a 17-year-old virgin who loves improv.
Oh, man.
And finally, be trapped in a sensory deprivation chamber while Elton John's Crocodile Rock plays on an endless loop. I don't care which of you think that's a good song. It's not. It's horrible. It's bad. It's the worst.
Oh, man. This is quickly becoming my favorite episode of our show. This is great.
Now, Ryan, to your point, the 80s, among other things that they are famous for when it comes to cinema, is that incredibly washed out cinematography. I don't know what it was. I would have to imagine it was probably something to do with the predominant film stock that was being used at the time. But like, yeah, when you go back, whether it's the 80s thrillers, whether it's the comedies, everything has that very sort of like washed out, coked out, ethereal sort of look to it, right?
Yeah, the blacks are really muddy and lifted. It has no contrast ratio.
Yeah, exactly. And so here we've got this film that promises to be very loud and vibrant and vivacious, but on top of all the other problems that I have with it too, is just that the cinematography of the time, it doesn't really allow any of the colors to leap off of the screen, which is odd because this film, even though it was ultimately the credit of shooting it went to Fred J. Konekamp, hopefully I'm saying that correct, the absolute legend GOAT, Jordan Cronin was the original DP. This is the man that shot Blade Runner.
Oh my gosh.
And from my understanding, a lot of his shots actually made it into the final film.
Wow.
So like, what was going on that like one of the best cinematographers of all time, his work looks that bad on screen? And then also, why was he replaced? With a man, by the way, I looked up this Fred J. Konekamp guy. He did a bunch of stuff for a handful of years, but ultimately got bored with photography and pursued a career in aviation, just outright left the field. So it's like, you're going to tell me that like you guys ditched one of the best DBs of all time for this guy who's like, I'd rather be flying planes.
Just a
Don't get me wrong.
part-timer.
I'm sure it's fun, but like, yeah, what is that about? How is that even possible?
Well, I'll take it one step further. And how did you get Cronin with it in the first place?
You probably promised him a bunch of Blade Runner shit. It's like, hey, we got, lasers and neons and aliens and crazy costumes. He's like, cool, yeah, I'll bring all that to life. And then shows up and is like, yeah, like maybe he fired himself. He was like, oh, all of a sudden I forgot how to shoot. Oh no, you should let me go.
I mean, same with that. Right. Yeah. Maybe he dismissed himself when he saw what a shit show
exactly,
this was.
right?
That could very well be. It all seemed out of place. And like I said earlier, I was trying to put it together like pieces of a puzzle and nothing was matching up. And I just finally had to watch this as an abstract art piece. This was like, was it Rock and Roll High School or, a trauma picture or something like that?
Yeah, just some of those exploitation films from back in the day. Yeah.
And once I saw it through that, I just kind of had fun with it. I felt like the fun they were having making this film was contagious. And look, I wanted to bring some kind of fairness or depth to my review here. We brought this film on the show to discuss it, and I was trying my damnedest to try to do this because I thought you were going to come to this with some serious fucking breakdown, and I was going to be the guy that had the top 5 list. So I was like, shit.
You know what? when you make a film that is worthy of a serious breakdown, I will take my time and give you a serious breakdown. If you're going to waste my time with a bunch of bullshit, then I'm going to waste your time with a bunch of bullshit, okay?
That's fair. Yeah.
What am I, that whole hour that I could have gone deep diving into who the art direction and watching interviews? No, I spent it coming up with silly reasons that I didn't like this film and silly things I'd rather be doing because my time was better spent doing that than investigating anything having to do with this film.
Agreed. And hey, look, for everyone, new here to the show, take a scroll down our library. We've covered some crazy movies, some wildly shitty films. And
we love insane films. Like I said, that's not why we don't like this film.
We have an entire series on body horror. Like, we have given some schlocky films the time of day and really gotten into the nitty gritty about what makes these films work or not work. And this one gets some top 5s of shit he'd rather do. So Jason, everything you're saying right now warms my heart like a Yule log. I'm just so giddy that we could just have fun with this. Honestly, maybe W.D. Richter and Peter Weller would agree with us, in some of the interviews I've seen. So we'll see.
I also thought it was weird to do some research on the art direction and find that it was actually given a pretty good shake in terms of the amount of attention. The production designer was J. Michael Riva.
Okay.
And he spent 2 years researching and developing the look of the film. And I was shocked to learn this because I didn't think any of that showed up on screen, I didn't think the world was especially vibrant, nor was it especially run down. And the Black Lectroid prosthetics, I have no idea if that was considered good at the time of release because here and now they have not held up. It really looks like they went down to the old, Halloween superstore and just grabbed a few masks and were like, hey, throw this on, and just went with it.
Well, they were better than the lizard costumes from Flash Gordon with the eyes in the mouth. Credit where due.
That can't become the standard for costume design because then everybody is better. That is literally the absolute worst costume design of any film that I have seen post 1957. That was atrocious. That was just bad all around.
Sid and Marty Krofft level costume design on that one.
But that's the thing. But when you I think that's a perfect counterpoint. Is Flash Gordon Flash Gordon was ridiculous and it's silly, but it's out there, it's vibrant, it's got the loud colors, and it's got these great models, and we're going to space. And even though some of the effects were cheesy and chintzy,
right,
they still put it out there for us. And I was like, where is that in this movie? The only things that I really recall, having any sort of inventiveness like that are his rocket car, which, kind of is just the DeLorean from Back to the Future, first and foremost, just throwing that out there. These are probably around the same time. I don't know if that inspired one or the other or not, but also took that sequence was weird. They drew it out so unnecessarily long. I think they were trying to draw out the tension, but it's they just kept cutting and cutting and cutting as he approaches the mountain. It's is he gonna get to the mountain? Because this is taking an awfully long time.
I didn't really quite understand. Did he go into that trying to do interdimensional travel by hitting the mountain? Or was he trying to hit a land speed record?
So.
I didn't really catch what he was trying to do there.
No, I think he was intentionally doing it. I think he was
intended.
Perfecting. Okay. I could be wrong, and anybody watching, if we're wrong, by all means, let us know. We know you will from past comments, but no, I think he was trying to do exactly what John Lithgow was trying to do. And he just did it effectively. And that's why it was such a big thing, because he does sort of do this interdimensional travel sequence, which actually was kind of cool, just given the time. It was a couple nice little effects there of him going through the mountain. But yeah, it's supposed to be they're going through the space between matter. And so I guess he's but yeah, so I took that to be, it was an intentional test and run at, this interdimensional or traveling through matter, whatever it was that they were trying to do. And that was the successful version of what John Lithgow attempted and failed ultimately to do.
So real quick, to your point earlier about this being similar to Back to the Future, I don't know if you realize or if you saw this in your research, but this was produced by a gentleman named Neil Canton, who was also one of the head producers on Back to the Future just a few years after this. And there are a lot of people that speculate the odd resemblance of the flux capacitor to the overdrive, whatever the fuck it was on this thing.
Got it.
They were both kind of like the little Mercedes-Benz symbol that like glowed up that everybody was after that allowed you to do the interdimensional travel or time travel in Back to the Future. The DeLorean and this speed Ford car, Ford truck or whatever that's all souped up, look very similar. They're both that steel gray and have the big, crap on the back of a normal car. So a lot of, and Christopher Lloyd is in both. He took Christopher Lloyd from this film and brought him into Back to the Future as well. So there's a lot of similarities or little,
interesting,
bridges to that movie from this film. So who knows?
Absolutely. Well, speaking of Christopher Lloyd, let's go ahead and turn our attention to the performances of this absolutely stacked ensemble.
It did stack.
Ryan, not before I give you yet 5 more things that I would rather do than watch the adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the 8th dimension.
Rule of 3s. Let's go.
I would rather listen to Kevin Spacey lecture me about the importance of respecting boundaries. Eat ice cream made from the jism of a Canadian yak. And wash still-soiled laundry from the 2017 Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Competition. Don't know why it's still soiled, but they need it cleaned. I would rather make toast. I would rather make toast in a swimming pool. And I would rather bank...
That would took me a minute.
And I would rather bank on a vinyl-like resurgence and invest my entire life saving into Bored Ape NFTs. That's right. All things I would rather do than watch this movie again.
Man.
Ryan, I found the performances to be entirely underwhelming across the board, man. And look, in addition to the heavy-hitting main cast, you've got great character actors like you've thrown up over the course of this episode.
Sure.
Dan Hedaya, Vincent Schiavelli,
Yeah.
Jonathan Banks, and none of them are memorable. None of them at all, except maybe Vincent Schiavelli, only because he plays Vincent Schiavelli, the same Vincent Schiavelli in every movie, and his naturally sweet disposition just kind of shines through.
I agree.
But like Peter Weller, grossly miscast. Okay, this is an actor who believes that to emote to even the slightest degree is to overact, and that's why he was so good in RoboCop, because he was asked to play a robot.
Sure.
I think that, Ellen Barkin, it was really just very much a cliche.
I didn't know what she was doing
she
this
tried
whole
her
film.
hardest.
They didn't give her anything to work
Yeah.
with. She had no reason to be there. She wasn't a Cavalier. Other than just a love interest, but they didn't really get into that. And then, like I said, when you find out that she's Banzai's ex-wife's twin sister, made it even more weird and kind of creepy. So I don't know, man. I just had no.
The way they just did shit in this movie. What was with this? The moment where they find the freaking Buckaroo Banzai comic book? They found a comic book of him in the universe that he's in? What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
They reference it a few times where someone says oh, I just know him from the comics or something like that. Because he's
absolutely
such
absurd.
an adventurer that he is known in this world, basically. He's a famous person. So people have written comic books about his adventures and all the things he's done that were dropped in the middle of without any backstory or explanation, other than the fact that he's half Asian.
Dude, you couldn't get John Huston for this role or something, some swashbuckling, come on, men, let's go. You just get Mr. I am here.
Right.
Let's rock.
Dude, you know who I wanted to see in this film consistently? I was going to go the other way with it and throw Bruce Campbell in this film. If Bruce Campbell was in this movie, and we lead right into the schlock and all the fun and witty banter and, throwing out little, fun one-liners and zingers, I think that would have been fun.
To your point from earlier, we said this, John Lithgow, bless his heart, he does try very, very hard. I really spent the entire movie feeling bad for him. He's not necessarily my favorite actor in the world, but he's a try-hard. He's been working consistently for decades. He's earned his stripes, but a ridiculous Russian accent, the gross and skeezy rotted teeth, and just the wild gesticulations of face and body is I don't know, man. And like I said, it mostly just felt bad. And then again, you with the Jeff Goldblum, you mentioned that you liked. Why is he a cowboy? In what way, shape, or form, other than the fact that he is wearing chaps and a cowboy shirt, is he a cowboy? He sounds like Jeff Goldblum. There's no like, sort of a stereotypical twang or anything like that, which fine. Have him be into anything resembling cowboy culture. Like, why cast him, put him in this outfit, and then say, just act the way you do in every other film you've ever been in or will be in?
Well, and that's where I thought, I kind of took that as like a joke in the same way that Don Cheadle was a cowboy in Boogie Nights when he showed up and he was all in the cowboy threads and this and that. And it's like, he didn't know shit about about cowboy stuff. He was just trying to be a character and fit in with a group of people that he felt like he didn't fit in with. And I feel like Jeff Goldblum was the same thing. He was a neurosurgeon partner of Buckaroo's at the hospital that wanted to be in the gang. And dude said, meet us at such and such place at, this time, and you could come with us on our next adventure. And he showed up all over eager, dressed as a cowboy, and they all teased him for it. And then they called him New Jersey.
But like, they all dress in like Armani outfits, like cool guys and stuff.
Right.
Why would he show up as a cowboy to fit in?
I think that was the joke, that he was so over eager to be a part of the team, and he showed up, and they called him New Jersey because you are no cowboy, you're from New Jersey. And so I think they were like, poking fun at that and trying to be super zany. Now, am I going to sit here and argue with you that the joke worked or landed? No, I will not waste my time with that. Here are 5 things I would rather do than waste my time arguing that point with you today, sir. No, that's just the way I understood it or translated it.
All right. Well, Ryan, personally, I think we've spent enough time on this film. Is there anything else you'd like to bring up before we leave?
I think the film would have been served well by having maybe 1 or 2 less Cavaliers. I felt like there were so many Cavaliers that I couldn't keep track. There were a couple of them that showed up that I was like, oh, who's this guy now? He's another one of them? Okay, cool. This seemed like one of those movies that you probably felt cool knowing about when you were a kid in the 80s. Like it's some underground thing that maybe you had a bootleg copy of on VHS or whatever. I could see where this was a cult hit. I don't think it's survived well through the times. It's not stood up well over the years. So now we go back and watch it, and it's obviously fun to watch some of our most beloved actors in their younger days, palling around and doing shit in the LA River and this and that. But this left much to be desired. I gave it a shot, dude. I really did. Like I said, I watched this twice. So I did what I could with it in 48 hours. I paid $4 to rent this movie. This movie cost me money. Aside from seeing some of my favorite...
You didn't get the screener copy that the studio sent us?
Right. Well, I could have taken time and signed up for MGM Plus and streamed it for a free trial, but I didn't want to waste my time with that. So.
Well, Ryan, this is normally where we do 3 scenes, but I'm not doing 3 scenes for this film because it doesn't deserve it. So you're going to have to fly solo this time around.
That's fair.
What I will do, however, is give you 5 final things that I would rather do. Watch Buckaroo Banzai across the 8th dimension. I would
rather I love it. Yes, please. Lay it on me, Jason.
I would rather volunteer to be a patient for student dentistry at Alabama Tech. Fist fight a 7-foot-tall carny for the deed to my house. Exhume the body of a dead relative only to find out I've been deceived by the mob. Start a business that produces foie gras and veal and do all the work myself.
Great.
And finally, watch The Ghost of Roger Ebert admonish my ability to analyze films. Ta-da!
Very good. Very good. Oh, man. Perfect. Man, mine seem pretty pedantic and pedestrian by comparison.
Ryan, how about your 3 scenes, sir?
Let's just get through this. John Lithgow's rally speech. I thought it was a lot of fun. Where do we want to go? Planet 10. When do we want to go there? Pretty soon. The Orson Welles hoax I thought was clever to kind of build in the plot. Boy, was I eager for some plot and direction, and they gave it to me a little bit in that Orson Welles hoax moment. And I was like, oh, that's actually pretty clever. I actually like that. And then the end credits strut. both because the movie was over and I thought it was fun to see all our people continue to have fun and walk about and do the things. It was cool. That's my take on that. Jason, what are you going to rate this movie? I can't wait to hear what you're going to rate this
imagine
movie.
if everybody's on the edge of their seat waiting to wonder what Jason's going to give it. First time, fully fat, single 1 star
There
for
it is.
Buckaroo Banzai across the
Wow.
8th dimension.
We're blazing
Not
new
even giving
trails.
it a half quarter, nothing. 1 star, and that's it.
Yes.
Fully deserving of it. How
We're
about
blazing
you,
new
sir?
trails. We're blazing new trails here. I am going to give this 2.5 stars. I thought that
Okay.
they
That was a little
tried. I tried to have fun. I did kind of buy into some of the zaniness and wit. I liked some of John Lithgow's little puns. The bootay thing did work on me the first time or two. I thought it was clever that they were all, named John something silly. That was a fun little bit that they were committed to. But yeah, this did not change my life, nor will I be watching it again a third time anytime soon.
2 is enough. 1 is enough. 0 times is plenty. Don't bother. Anybody out there?
3's a
don't need
crowd.
to waste your time
Yeah,
with
Two's
it.
Company,
So.
3's a crowd.
To all of you watching, thank you very much for taking part in our discussion of W.D. Richter's The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the 8th dimension. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Esoteric Cinema. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe to our channel right here on YouTube. For myself, Jason Peters, and my very good friend, Ryan Siebold, this has been Esoteric Cinema. Continue to appreciate film and enjoy the movies.
Just not this one.